welcome to the Nerds of Comedy. I am just noticing I am very shiny today. I shaved my head and boy does it show. Anyway, today we are watching the movie Clue. Also in this episode, Hilary is back and she is sitting in a very tall chair. I reveal some of my musical theater beginnings and my connection to Mr. Green. And, well, we have some audio issues. About halfway through the episode, they pop up. It only lasts for about a minute or two, and then it's back to normal. So, enough said about that, the better. You know what? Let's just sit back, enjoy the Nerds of Comedy and Clue. Welcome to the Nerds of Comedy. We are here inside the Push Comedy Theater, and we are joined by my vulture of a co-host, our brand new guest co-host, Miss Hilary Stalling.
Hello. Yes. And you are Mr. Sean Devereux.
Thank you for introducing myself. Normally, you're not here for this part, but I cut a separate intro.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you for watching the channel and being up to date on everything that's going on with this show. Yeah. I appreciate that. Joining us today, now you can look at this camera.
Thank you, Sean Devereux.
Joining us today to talk about Clue is Miss Shannon Fox.
Hi.
Shannon, so you brought us Clue. Why Clue?
Well, it's a great movie based on a board game that I had as a kid that I never understood how to play. So
that's right. You were saying you never got to play it as a kid because you didn't have any friends?
I didn't. And so I just made up stories in my head and played it that way. So when I saw that there was a movie, I watched it and I thought it was really great. Like all the stuff that went on, it was entertaining. Like it kept me interested as like 11-year-old kid watching it. And then all the endings at the end, like I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it has 3 endings, which is awesome.
3 endings. So it's like, it's just kind of cool. And then you go back and you're like, oh, did that really happen? Did that really happen? So it was good.
So for the people who haven't seen Clue, what is Clue about?
Well, it's about 6 people that are lured to a creepy mansion on a hill by a butler named Wadsworth. And then they find out they all have something in common, that they're being blackmailed. And they find out that Mr. Body is the one blackmailing them. And so Mr. Body ends up dead twice. Mm-hmm. And then other people in the house mysteriously end up dead. And they're all running around trying to figure out who the killer is before the cops come, who supposedly Mr. Wadsworth had called and said they were coming. So,
so then it becomes, a
whodunit.
A race against the clock to find out who the real killer is and to make sure that the reason why they're being blackmailed isn't revealed to the police before they get there.
Yes, and all the murders in the meantime.
Yes. Had you seen Clue before?
I think I may have seen it when I was a kid, but let's just say, for sake of the video that I just saw it for the first time today.
Really?
Yes, earlier this morning. Yeah, I watched it this morning.
It has an all-star cast.
Yes, it does.
It has Tim Curry plays the butler. Mm-hmm. You have Madeline Kahn.
She was my favorite.
I love
Mrs. White.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And they all like really doubled down on playing it real. That was one of my favorite things.
You have Michael McKean. You have Eileen Brennan, Christopher Lloyd, Martin Mull as Colonel Mustard. He was always my favorite. I'm a big Martin Mull fan. It's a very slapsticky movie.
Yeah.
We're trying to find out who killed him, and where, and with what.
There's no need to shout.
I'm not shouting! All right, I am. I'm shouting, I'm shouting, I'm shouting!
The dialogue in it is great. A lot of jokes per minute.
Just checking.
Everything all right?
Yep, 2 corpses, everything's fine.
Way back in the day when the Pushers had a manager, he was always getting on us for not having enough jokes per minute. So we fired him.
One of my favorite jokes we were just talking about is when Mrs. Peacock is asking where the ladies' room is.
Excuse me, I have to, is there a little girl's room in the hall?
Oui, madame.
No, I just want to powder my nose, thank you.
I would say it's almost a tale of 2 movies. The first half is really kind of slow.
Yes.
Because you're establishing all the characters and they're all being blackmailed and stuff. But then once Mr. Body is killed, then it just becomes nonstop for the last half of the movie. It is exhausting to watch sometimes. At one point, the last 30 minutes of the movie is literally Tim Curry rehashing the entire movie as he is deducing who killed everybody. And I was talking with our sound guy, Matt Cole, the other day, that it reminds me, what's that short form improv game we do here where you do a scene and then one by one you vote people off
Survivor.
So
Yeah.
at the end, it's one person recreating the entire scene. For some reason, that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah, I could see that. It's one of the things I looked up because I noticed, like, when I watched it again, I watched it 3 times in the last 2 weeks. The cadence of the rhythm of the lines being delivered, it was like rapid fire.
There was one shot at Mr. Body in the study, 2 for the chandelier, 2 at the lounge door, and 1 for the singing telegram.
That's not 6.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
There was only one shot that got the chandelier. That's 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Even if you were right, that would be 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, not 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
And so I looked it up. I was like, I noticed it before, but it's never been something like I really thought about. And then I looked it up and it was like, that was the director's like choice. He wanted it to be like very like rapid fire.
Am I right in thinking there is nobody else in this house?
No.
Then there is someone else in this house.
No, sorry. I said no, meaning yes.
No meaning yes? Look, I want a straight answer. Is there someone else or isn't there? Yes or no?
No.
Even the cuts like in the dining room were very rapid to like this person, that person, this back and forth. And so even though it's kind of slow at that point, even that kind of helps speed it along.
Yeah, I would say the dialogue, even I saying it's slow is probably a disservice.
It's
I think
just a lot of exposition
Yes.
at the beginning. There's a really complicated story and they have to set it up.
Right.
So.
Again, where they have to reveal each character and what their backstory is, why they're being blackmailed.
Right.
That being said, there are times when he does take his time, like when they're at the dinner table and everybody's just slurping.
Yeah. It kind of felt like a very British way of filming to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little like is it Guy Ritchie who does the like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels where it's so quick.
The director was British. So
yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It gave me that "Are you being served?" feel.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a theater nerd in the sense, not really. I used to be a theater nerd, but it reminds me there's this British playwright named Ray Cooney who does a bunch of these. They're kind of like these madcap farces like Run for Your Wife and some other things where it's people running in and out of the room. The dialogue is rapid fire, very, very farcical.
Yes.
Very slapsticky. In fact, there is, Mr. Green gets the crap kicked out of him when Tim Curry is recreating what happened to Mr. Body. He's just literally throwing Michael McKean around the room as he's going over how the murder took place.
And the respect with which they treat the actual bodies is astounding. Like they just throw the bodies around. Anytime they're carrying a body from one room to another, they're just like dropping it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But they do take care not to lay the cook on her back because the knife will just go in deeper.
Right.
So,
Yes.
Right. So let's talk about the endings. Depending on what movie theater you saw it in, depended on what ending you got. I'm old, so I actually saw it. It is so weird looking at you.
I'm a very small person normally.
You're kind of like a vulture, just kind of like waiting for me to die. I'm old enough that I actually saw this in the movie theater. And if I remember correctly, it was the last ending, the one where it turns out everybody but Mr. Green was a murderer.
Yep.
So Mr. Body dies, but then the cook, the maid,
the singing telegram person, the cop.
Was Jane Wyland, from the Go-Go's, was the guitarist from the Go-Go's.
Gosh, I could have watched her tap dance. I was really disappointed when she was murdered because I was like, well, I hope that she continues to tap dance.
Da-da-da-da-da. I am your singing telegram.
You just want a movie of tap dancing.
Yeah. Singing in the Rain. Can we do that one next?
Sure. We'll put it on the list. Okay, so for people who have never seen this movie, why should they go and check it out?
Well, I just think it's just good cinema in general, because it's not anything that's ever been done before or even since. Like it's not something very common. It's just, the rapid fire dialogue, all the jokes, the alternate endings. So then it actually makes you want to go back and watch it again, because when Tim Curry's character Wadsworth is explaining everything, you're like, oh, that person wasn't there when that happened, and now I have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
Did you go back?
I did.
Did you go back and watch?
No, I didn't. I didn't have time. Yeah.
I did that. I actually did that too. At least because in the first ending, Eileen Brennan's character, Mrs. Peacock, is the murderer. So
The second ending, Miss Scarlett's the first.
Miss Scarlett
Miss
was the
Scarlett's
first.
the
Or
first.
at least how they put it on
in the
That's
on
correct.
Apple
So
TV,
the second one, she is the murderer, and I actually went back and looked, and
I noticed that this morning. I was like, I'm going to watch that again in that one particular part. And I was like, oh yeah, she's not there.
yeah, the kitchen scene.
Yeah, she's not there
at all.
They showed they made a point to show everyone either in a one shot or two shot, like of everyone there. And then she was
and they do
definitely
it
not
so
in it.
fast that you don't, because I was actually,
all the
while I was
cuts.
watching it, I was trying to figure out who wasn't there. And I mean, I'm not the smartest cookie, but I was like, nope, can't figure out who's not there.
Yeah.
Because I knew that would come back. I kind of figured that it would, but yeah, I couldn't figure it out with a first watch.
The first ending is kind of a cheat because it turns out that Miss Scarlett has help.
Yeah.
Yvette, the maid,
is
yes,
doing
who I
something.
love as well.
Yeah, I like the maid as well. I guess they split up and to go searching the house in pairs.
Yes.
And Michael McKean, his character is gay. So Martin Mull and Christopher Lloyd immediately want to pair up with Yvette.
With the maid.
And then she goes to Mr. Green, is like, can I be with you? He's like, not interested.
Bon, d'accord. But it is dark upstairs and I am frightened of the dark. Will anyone go with me?
I will.
I will.
No, thank you.
So they made a stage version of this. There is a play out there called Clue the Musical.
Ooh.
Yes, that I actually, myself and Ed Carton, who has done some of these episodes, we were in this play together, and it was the worst production ever.
Wait, who were you?
I was Mr. Green.
Oh, and who was Ed?
Ed was Professor Plum.
Man, I would have called Ed Colonel Mustard. Yeah.
So I was
poor casting choice.
When we signed up for it, we thought it was going to be like a stage version of the movie, but it wasn't. It was these two guys took the game and turned it into a play, and then had a computer write all the music because they weren't musical.
What?
It was really bad.
Oh my God.
It was really bad. The cast was great. A lot of
the cast was great, right?
well, except for I think Brad actually brings it up in one of the previous episodes. In the Best in Show episode. For some reason, we go on this Clue tangent. He loved it just because of how bad it was. The cast was great. A lot of really great Norfolk actors were in it. So I have a sweet memory whenever I watch Clue the movie. I have PTSD of being in Clue the musical.
I don't know why I'm thinking that like the songs are like a robot voice, because you said they were written by a computer.
They were written by a computer. What it was is that there are weird key changes that it was almost impossible to hit.
Yeah.
Like it was
and this was like 1973?
Yeah, it was 1973.
Yeah. Wow, computers
The first
were...
ever computer
Yeah.
in existence. That's what they got to do, is write music for Clue the musical. All right, so that is Clue the movie, not Clue the musical. What we'll do is one day we'll find that there's a DVD somewhere.
Oh man, I would love to roast that.
Of Clue the musical.
We have, yeah.
Yeah, I
we
will
have a
actually.
screening here.
Yes.
You know what I'll do? I'll upload the entire thing online.
Awesome.
So everybody can enjoy it. So anybody else have any last thoughts on Clue the movie?
Fun fact, all of the secret passageways were accurate to the board game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, supposedly Yvette, Colleen Camp, the person who played Yvette, she actually showed up to her audition in a maid's uniform because other actresses like Demi Moore and Madonna at the time when she was acting, they were up for that role. But then she actually just shows up to the audition dressed like that, which I think that helped.
I would cast her.
I would too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny is that I actually showed up to my audition for Clue the Musical in a maid's
costume.
and I got Mr. Green.
Wow. I would also make that casting choice.
All right.
Put your clothes on, Sean.
Yeah, exactly. If I had a nickel, I'd have 37 cents. All right. Shannon, thank you so much for being on the Nerds of Comedy. For the Nerds of Comedy, I'm Sean.
And I'm Hilary.
And we'll see you next time. Which camera are you looking at?
The red one.
Oh. We'll see you next time.
Bye.